Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I want to share with you a tip on how you can farm mounts in World of Warcraft as efficiently as possible. So you will only have one requirement in order to do this technique, and it's simply to have engineering with the character you're farming your mounts on. So basically with engineering, you will be able to get a bunch of toys, and especially the ones that are interesting are all the different wormholes. So for those of you who are not really familiar with wormholes, basically you will have two types of items. The first one is basically a toy that will allow you to create a little portal, and when you click on the portal, you can choose to go wherever you want in this part of the world, and these are fixed location. So it means that basically you know where you will end up. And then you have another category of toys, and these are the ones that will drop you randomly in a location in the expansion where you want to go. So for instance, as you can see for Pandaria, it will be a random location. Same with, for instance, Zandalar, same with Kultiras, same also with Argus, and also same with the one for Dragonflight, even though for Dragonflight, if you manage to get the triangulation specialization with your engineer, then you can choose where you will go. Another thing that's very interesting with these different toys is the fact that most of them have a 15-minute cooldown. So as you can see, you will only have two of them that will have a 4-hour cooldowns, and it will be Northrend and also Draenor, and then the one for Dragonflight has a 30 minutes cooldown. And as you can see, all of them will only require you to have one in engineering with the correct expansion, over than Northrend that will require you to have 40. So it means that if, for instance, you're playing on a character, maybe on an alt, and you really just want to pick up the profession in order to get these different toys, you can simply learn from the different trainers the engineering profession for each of these expansions, and then you can either go on the auction house and buy these different wormholes toys, or you can also try to craft them yourself, but usually you can really find them very cheap at the auction house. So the reason why these different toys are so useful to farm mounts, and not only mounts, but also just items in general, is simply because you will be able to go super fast in all these different locations. And again, as they all have almost 15 minutes of cooldown, you can alternate super easily. So for instance, with Shadowlands, right now, if I want, I can go in one of the different areas, farm maybe a rare in Kyrian, and then after that, I can directly take one of the different wormholes to go to Zondalar. When I'm done, I can maybe go to Pandaria, see if I'm close to where I want to go, because again, it's random location. If not, I can decide to go to Kultiras, you have something to do there. Same with Northrend, and then I can go back to Shadowlands 15 minutes later, and so on and so on. So now I just want to demonstrate basically how it works and just show you how efficient it is. So for instance, here I'm starting with Shadowlands and with Revendred because I have two rares that I need to kill in this region. So as you can see, I will arrive at the exact location I know of in Revendred. Then I can easily start going and killing the first rare. And when I'm done, I can go and kill the second rare. So after that, I can simply open again my toy journal and decide to go somewhere else. So this time, as you can see, I decide to go to Kultiras because I need to go in Freehold in order to try and get the mount from the last boss. So as you can see, I didn't end up too far from the dungeon, and especially with dragon riding, it's very easy to go from point A to point B. So then as soon as I arrived, I just entered the dungeon. Then this dungeon only takes a few minutes to complete. And when I was done with the last boss, as you can see, I was able to then open a portal to this time go to Zandalar, because in Zandalar, I also need to do two different dungeons. And I was lucky because I ended up in the first one and just in front of the first dungeon I need to do, King's Rest. So then again, this is a dungeon that takes a little bit of time, but not too difficult. As soon as I was done with the last boss, as you can see, I was able to then click on another portal and this time go to Pandaria. In Pandaria, I just need to kill the different world bosses. So here, as you can see, I ended up in the Veil of Eternal Blossom, and it was actually really good because there's currently an assault and there is one rare that I need to kill during this event. So then I just went inside, killed the rare, and then I went outside and just tried to find Galleon, and hopefully he was up. So then I was able to kill Galleon. And once it was done, I was able to open again the portal for Shadowlands, and this time go to Maldraxxus. So in Maldraxxus, I only have one rare to kill. So as you can see, in just a few minutes, I was able to go exactly where the rare is. Then I decided to go to Argus. So Argus will usually teleport you in front of a teleporter, and so then you can simply use it and go wherever you want. So the reason why I go to Argus is to simply then go to the main raid in order to kill Entorus and have a chance at getting the mount in Mythic difficulty. So again, after just a few minutes, I was done, and then I was able to take back a portal to Zandalar because I still have one dungeon to do in Zandalar. And as you can see, I was able to arrive almost next to it. So then I just entered the dungeon, and in a few minutes I was able to arrive to the last boss, and then I was able to kill the last boss. So after that I decided to go back to Pandaria to see if I could get a little bit closer to Ondasta. This is the last world boss that I need. As you can see, I was pretty far, but again with dragon riding it's pretty easy. And also if you for instance need the Sha of Anger, I would have been able to go to the Sha of Anger. So then I managed to arrive on the main island where Ondasta is, but sadly she was not up. So then I decided to go back to Shadowlands, and this time to go to Bastion, because here I have two things to do. The first one is to go inside the dungeon there and to kill the last boss in order to have a chance at getting the mount. So as soon as I was done, you can talk to the person and you will be brought back at the entrance of the dungeon. And then I just left and I just had one rare to kill. And so as you can see, it took me a few more minutes and then I was able to kill the rare. So after that, just to show you all the things you can do with these different toys. So let's say, for instance, I need a blue Protodrak in Northrend. So you want to go, and here again, you will be able to choose where you go. And this one is really good because you will basically arrive at the entrance of the dungeon. And so then, as you can see, you could just enter the dungeon, kill the boss. Then let's say you need to go somewhere in Draenor, whether it's the Talent Jungle or another place. Then you can simply choose again where you will go. And then as soon as you arrive, you can then move wherever you want in Draenor. And then let's say I want to have another try in Pandaria, maybe for this time another world boss, maybe Nalak or something like that. Then as you can see, you will arrive randomly somewhere. Again, if I'm not really satisfied with it, then I can just decide to go somewhere else. Let's say maybe in Argus, because there are more rares that I want to kill in order to get over mounts. So here, as you can see, you can do that again and again. These are really just examples, but keep in mind, with a 15-minute cooldown, you can really move from one point to another super fast. And of course, there are not only these toys, you will have your different Dalaran and other Hearthstone, and also, for instance, the Guild Cloak that will allow you super easily to go to other places and then to use the different portals, for instance, in Stormwind and in Orgrimmar. So this is also another thing you can do. So for instance, here, as you can see, I did that to go to Firelands. And in Firelands, you can easily just kill the first boss you need, Alice Razor, and then go directly and kill Ragnaros. And after that, I was done. So as you can see, in 1 hour, I was able to defeat all these different rares, do all these different dungeons and raids. And it really took me just less than 1 hour. Of course, you can do plenty of other things in order to be as fast as possible and to be as efficient as possible. So for instance, if you're doing a lot of farms inside of dungeons and raids, you can buy food buffs in order to then be faster when you kill mobs and have speed buffs. Same, you can try to gather a speed set in order to be fast when you're not mounted or when you're again inside of a closed area. Just a quick tip again for those of you who would be interested in building a speed set. All you have to do is to go on the auction house, and here you want to go and try to have a look at all the different green BOEs and blue BOEs from Dragonflight. And sometimes when you click on them, they will have extra stats, and these extra stats include speed. And so if you find some with speed, you can just buy them. And like that, you will be able sometimes to get up to 40% of speed. So this is very useful, again, when you're running dungeons and raids. And the last thing I want to mention is, of course, the fact that you will be able to then craft and sell some of these different toys if you want to make some gold. So as you can see, all of them are BOEs, and some of them can really be sold for quite a lot of gold. They sell pretty fast. And also, for instance, the ones from BFA really doesn't cost a lot to craft. So sometimes you can make quite a lot of gold just by crafting and selling these different toys. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope it will help you farm all these different mounts that you've been dreaming of in World of Warcraft. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great weekend. Bye!